welcome to Basscast number 6. I am Ev.
And I am Alex.
Alright, so today let's get into some current events. Some news that's actually somewhat current. So have you heard of Monxx?
Yes, I've heard of Monxx, yes.
Have you ever actually listened to sat down and listened to Monxx music?
I want to say that some of this newer stuff that has been released, I think I've listened to it, but I haven't gone through his whole entire SoundCloud and seen all of his tracks that he's released off of specifically SoundCloud. But yes, I have heard of Monxx, and I have heard of some of his music.
All right, well, I want to give all of our listeners a scenario, and this you can listen to the scenario too. Of course, we all know that you listen to music while we podcast, so this is literally pointless for me to say that. So let me give the listeners a scenario. Let's say that you are meeting all your friends at 8 o'clock for a movie, right? And
okay,
it's about 7:30. You are leaving your house. You got your dress. You got your keys. You're leaving the house. You get in your car, driving. You're ready to meet up with your friends, have a good time, go see a movie, whatever y'all are doing. About 7:45, you're in your car driving to wherever y'all are meeting, and you get a text. And one of your friends has said that they can't make it unexpectedly. And this is 15 minutes before 8 o'clock. This is at 7:45, 15 minutes before everybody's supposed to meet. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, I guess they had an issue, or I guess that they had something come up and had something critical that's making them miss this, right? So, when that happens, do you ever kind of think to yourself, I wonder if they actually had something critical happen and they legitimately can't make it, or if they're just bailing because they don't want to come right now? Do you ever have that thought in the back of your mind?
I think so. Because not recently, but I have done this kind of thing in the past, where if, say, me and my group of friends that, hang out, we, say we're going to, like you were saying, we go to a movie, and, I said, say we were planning this at the beginning of the week, and so come, Thursday, and, we're seeing the movie Friday, I just kind of bail and say, I'm good, or whatever, or, just, kind of brush it off or whatever, and...
Wait, you bail?
Is that what you were asking?
Wow, this is taking a turn. This is taking a different turn than what I was expecting.
Well, so, I'm saying, I have been that person before.
Oh wow! Oh, this is great. All right, well, because I was literally gonna basically diss the person who does that. So I guess I'm
saying. Well, I'm saying I have been that person, but that was a long time ago. So yeah,
okay.
I will admit that. Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna. Okay, so this might
So
not be funny.
please tell me, just bring it on me.
It's
please.
gonna be
I dare
funny
you.
when I explain where I'm going with this. So basically, what the point that I was gonna make is, if someone bails on you like 10, 15 minutes before the time that you're supposed to meet at, you gotta ask yourself, like, let's say that they, text you 15 minutes and at 15 minutes out and they're like, hey man, sorry I can't make it, something came up. And they don't exactly say what came up. Now, I'm not trying to get personal with everybody, obviously, but if they just kind of, like, just give you, like, they just kind of say they can't make it and don't actually say why. Oh, and let me say, if that happens to me, then I am somewhat conspicuous of that person, and I'm wondering, did something actually come up, or are they just trying to bail on us because they got lazy or something or whatever? And again, I understand that. I understand sometimes people get lazy, but I mean, if that's the case, then just let me know. Like, don't,
Right.
don't say, oh, I can't make it, and then like try to make an excuse. So I say all that to say this. That may happen like once, like with your friend group, right? But what if it happens like 8, 9, 10 times in a row? Has that ever happened to you? Or I guess I should ask, have you ever done that?
No. I've only done it like, I think, like once or twice.
Only
but
like
it's been,
6 times in a row?
Well, I think I did it like once, back when I was in, middle school or high school or something like that. And then once while I'm in college, and that was it. But like the college thing, like it related to like a project, but that's a different story.
Wow. My goodness.
Yeah.
Sorry about the technical, we're having Basscast technical difficulties here. So, okay, where were we? Oh yeah, you were admitting to being a terrible friend. That's where we were.
Yes,
Okay,
I have been a terrible friend in the past.
Right. But only 2 times.
Let's not talk about the present. It was in the past, and that's the old Alex, and the new Alex has changed.
So when did the new Alex begin? That's what I'm curious about. Was it yesterday?
No.
It was last week.
But okay, not to like avoid the question. I think what you're saying is right. That it was just out of laziness.
Okay,
and that's the main reason why I did that.
I understand, like last minute deciding I don't want to go. I get that. All right, I'll even sympathize with that. But you would never do that like 8, 9, 10 times in a row, right?
Yeah. No. I would never do that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
8, 9, 10 times in a row. Let's just say that.
Not that many times.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Anyways, to say all that, I'm saying this. Monxx. There's DJ Monxx, who mostly does dubstep and rhythm, has now skipped out on over 10 songs just in the past year. I mean, you don't really hear about DJs skipping out on shows. I feel like I don't.
Okay. Sorry, you said songs the first time, and I was just making sure that you meant to say shows.
Oh, did I really? Sorry.
Yeah, you said he's skipping out on 10 songs, guys. Come on.
No. Yeah, you're right. I meant shows.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so he has skipped out, and it's more than 10. It's more like 12 or 13. And I just want to kind of go through these because these are big, like some of them are festivals. And he just decided not, I don't know if he's making excuses. Some of these sound like legit, like some of these sound like fake excuses. And one of these is really ridiculous, and I'll get into that in a second. So let me go from the top here. I've got an article that's listing all the ones that he's either canceled or skipped within the past year.
Mm-hmm.
So the High Caliber Music Festival was earlier this month in October. That is one. It's actually a whole EDM festival. I think it's more bass music. It's an EDM festival held on a battleship, which is a cool idea. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And Monxx was supposed to be on there, but he did not show up. Instead, he released this statement. Due to the combination of negative online backlash and multiple violent threats from the festival attendees, Josh, who's Monxx, does not feel comfortable performing at Battleship tomorrow night. With that being said, we will be pulling out of the festival. I deeply apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. Please cancel the hotel room that I asked for you to reserve. If you are not able to cancel, please send over the receipt and I will reimburse the full balance. So actually that's, I guess he was trying to say that he would reimburse whoever was trying to go and see specifically him, which I didn't realize that, but how do you even organize that to begin with? But again, this is High Caliber Music Festival. This is a unique bass music festival. And he's saying that he's not going to go because he's got some negative online backlash and threats from festival attendees. I mean, isn't that like the reason that there's security at a festival is so that is all organized and nobody has to worry about that? Isn't that the job of the security, the festival security?
Well, was the hate, was it like in person or was it over social media?
Honestly, I think it was a combination of, well, it must have been on social media. I mean, negative online backlash. I mean, that has to be on social media. But like the violent threats. I mean, I can understand that being kind of scary or whatever, but like again, that's what security, like security is there to protect the artists and to prevent stuff like that from happening. And I don't know, I'm thinking that the reason there was already negative online backlash is because this is the latest incident of him canceling. This is just the latest one. There's plenty more before this.
Yeah.
This one is the next one is not really worth mentioning because it wasn't Monxx's fault, but he was slated to do Lost Lands, and he got canceled from that because they had weather issues during Lost Lands.
Mm-hmm.
And so, let's see. So Excision basically had to cancel several sets, and the joke was that Excision canceled on him before Monxx could cancel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He actually, he posted a video on his social saying that he has landed in Columbus, which is near Lost Lands, and so, he was saying, I'm here, but I just landed and my set has gotten canceled. So I guess that one's not really his fault. We'll give him a pass on that one. Let's get to because that was
a legitimate reason.
Yeah, that was. I don't think it's fair for us to include that in this list. So I guess I should have said that one.
Yeah, we'll just throw it away.
Yeah, just throw it away. This is the one that really annoyed his fans. There was one concert that he was going to be at that started at 8 o'clock, and he canceled very close to 8 o'clock, and he sent out this message on social media. He said, to clear everything up, the past week I have been extremely ill, which forced me to cancel a few shows. I have been vomiting so much that I've bruised my ribs, which has been giving me breathing complications. Rather than show up and play a show with no energy, I decided it would be better that I reschedule so I can perform at 100%. It's not a decision I'm happy with, but as this is my first U.S. tour, I want to ensure that my fans get the best possible experience. As far as the false rumors that have been going around, every promoter has either been refunded or is in contact with my agent coordinating a makeup date. I sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused anyone, and I am extremely grateful for all my supporters sticking by my side. Looking forward to Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia this weekend. So that sounds pretty heartfelt, right? Like, he legitimately apologizing. Of course, this is not the first time. At this point, this had not been the first time that he had missed. But that happened before 8 o'clock that night. At 8:54 p.m. later that night on Snapchat, he posted a picture of himself not of himself, but he posted a picture at Red Lobster eating a surf and turf dinner. And that was at like 8, that was at like 9 o'clock, and then an hour later, he posted another picture on Snapchat with a picture of Jack Daniels, and he's like, I collect Jack Daniels. Like, you just told everybody that you have food poisoning, and you can't make your show. And these are your fans. Like, these are people that look up to you. And these are people that are excited to see you live and see what you do and experience your music. And you tell everybody that you've been vomiting so much that I bruised my ribs, which has been giving me breathing complications. That sounds pretty extreme. And then later that night, you're on Snapchat and you're saying, I'm eating lobster and steak and Jack Daniels. Like, that is not a good look. You can't say one thing and then basically show everybody that you were lying earlier. And I'm sorry, but there's no other way to look at this. It looks like he literally just did not want to go, and he just made up an excuse. Because clearly he wasn't actually sick. So, and again, this was not the first time this had happened. There was a point in Milwaukee where he had a show scheduled on a certain day. He ended up having to cancel that show and did not explain why on social media or anywhere. So he had a makeup show made for like a later day, and then he bailed on that makeup show also. And then his excuse on that one was because he got assaulted at the airport and missed his flight. Like, it's just, there's just too many outlandish excuses for his fans to be like, oh yeah, no, it's okay, oh yeah, he had food poisoning, oh yeah, he got assaulted, yeah, oh he can't take the online backlash, he can't make this festival. It's just too much. Like, these are people that look up to you, and you are flat out disappointing them. So at this point, he had let's see, he was doing a tour in Australia. He had to reschedule like 3 shows, one in Sydney, one in Perth, one in Brisbane. He had to reschedule like 2 or 3 Detroit shows. And I don't know, it's just like, I just have not heard of any other EDM artists doing this. My question is this laziness, or is this just like dodging shows? Because I want to say that some of these he did actually get paid beforehand, and it was like kind of a non-refundable type deal. So he basically got the money without actually performing, which, first of all, is not really ethical if you want to get into that discussion. But that's just wrong, because again, you've got your fans that paid money to come see you specifically. So, I don't know, this has kind of been a big story that I've been seeing on Twitter a bunch, and honestly, it's a meme at this point, because, like, I'm seeing Cookie Monster, I'm seeing Wooly, like, posting screenshots on their phones of proof that Monxx has blocked them, and it's just like, it's just not really a good look, if you ask me.
Yeah, okay, so like I said, I heard about, him canceling shows. I just didn't know the full deal. But now that I do know what the full deal is, this is awful.
I thought you were gonna say, I would have paid to hear you said, now that I've heard the full story, I am totally in support of Monxx and what he's doing. I totally support the fact that he is skipping on events, because that's what I would do.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay.
Okay. So getting back on track. So this. Okay. So when I'm assuming that he wanted to become a music producer, specifically like a bass electronic music producer.
He did, and he makes some good music. He makes some wonky tunes.
Yes, he does. And either he knew that going into it, he would eventually, have to do live shows, or he would have he would gain a following, or he would hope that he would gain a following to where he could do live shows, and that's how he could make his money or whatever. So I guess he found. This is all speculation, but I guess in his head he found a loophole to where he could. I guess what you were saying, like he could get the money before he went on stage, and then boom, he just cancels out of nowhere. Which, yes, that is wrong. There's no doubt in my mind that is not. No, yes, that is. You should totally do that. No, you shouldn't do that. That hurts your reputation towards your fans.
Yes.
It kills your fans and what they think about you. And it's not right to do that.
Well, I think like I said, it's going farther than just his fans, because you're getting other DJs that are basically turning on you, like basically turning on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's now, like I said, it's becoming a meme. Like if you go to Twitter and just search Monxx, right, you're seeing like Cookie Monster, Wooly, and several other artists. I think like either Tramp or Charlie Snatch have both said that they are blocked by him also. And I think it's almost to the point that even if you're not a normal DJ, even if you're just a fan that's on Twitter and follows some of these DJs, if you just mention him and say anything somewhat negative, he blocks you. And it's just not a good look. It's like you said, it hurts your reputation.
Right. It is it's very, very stupid of him to do this. Yeah, I'm looking at the Twitter, the tweets that are coming from, Wooly and Tisoki.
Yeah, Tisoki, that's the other one, yeah. Like, it's a meme now to get blocked by Monxx. And the problem is, whenever we release this episode, usually we put out something on Twitter saying, what we talked about. And if we put on the description that, we're talking about Monxx and how he's skipping shows, he's probably going to block us.
Yeah. Oh man, okay, I'm just not reading some of these tweets, and these tweets are great.
Yeah, I know. Like the one where it's like the car is drifting towards going to Red Lobster instead of going to his show. And he's in the car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, but yeah, again, it's hurting his reputation. Can't be good.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot be good for him. I feel like this is the first time I'm hearing a bass artist, not an artist period. I mean, I think this does happen probably more than we think, but a bass artist or DJ, especially an upcoming bass artist or DJ that is, I don't know if he's purposefully missing shows or just missing shows and coming up with excuses, or maybe he's just got a terrible travel agent. Maybe his travel agent just has no idea what he's doing and just like can't get him anywhere on time. Like maybe his travel agent is just like doesn't know how to work, airline tickets and stuff. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's all just a mystery and speculation. We all can think, but I mean, honestly, from the way that the fans see it and the way that I see it, it's just terrible on his part. So, I mean, if he can find a way to get out of this habit. What looks like a habit.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is this a habit, or is this just a temporary deal? Is there something deeper to this story? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess the story will die as soon as he starts making all of his shows, but this goes back to 2017. Like he had just bailed on shows, and he would just either reschedule them or not schedule them at all. And even like we were saying, even if it is about the money and he's just trying to get compensated for the shows and then bail on them just because he doesn't want to do it, even if it is about that, it's like you said, it's hurting his reputation. He's probably going to lose fans.
Oh yeah.
So that's been something that I've seen over the past few weeks, and that's actually been like a thing over the past year, really.
Yeah, that's kind of like the major news that's going on right now.
It's like major news. I don't know what I was going to say, but that's pretty much the major news right now in the bass community, at least on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
do you bother going on like the edmnow.com or edm.com and looking at all that stuff? Because usually what they do is they do like a whole article per each like single. Like, do you ever go on those websites and like see what the news is?
I mean, if something like sparks something big that, I mean, I guess you could call this a big news story in the bass community. I mean, I might, search around for it and see what's going on. But just like out of my spare time, probably not, because I'm just not big on news, period. But I mean, if it's a big enough story, then I might like look into it. So.
Right. Well, yeah, this is similar to the Daxic story in that, here we are now, and there's not really much else to tell. But I guess it's another one that we'll continue to try to keep up with, and if there's any big updates, I guess we'll talk about it, or we'll tweet about it.
Yeah.
By the way, follow our Twitter if you like. We have an enormous following of 5 followers, 2 of those followers being Alex and myself. We're doing great on the socials there, so if you if you have the desire to follow us, and by the way, you can follow us and then ask us questions, and then we'll address them in the next episode. Like, I would really like doing that, because these could be questions, these could be opinion questions, they could be just people tweeting us and saying their thoughts on something, and that's fine. Like, I want to get into that. I want to get into deeper into the bass community, because it's a good community. I like it.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
So, anything else on Monxx in this whole situation? I know it's kind of convoluted at this point, but
well, okay. So, I guess the latest show that he appeared at was because Snails recently did a really big show at Red Rocks this past weekend. This past weekend, and so there was a lot of big names. Him, I think Uber and Sudden Death and Funcase, B2B Cookie Monster was there. So yeah, a lot of those up and coming names and big names there, and I think he was one of them. And I'm looking at this video right now of him. He's there. So I don't know if I don't know if he did the Red Rock show, because it was
I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
Like, he hasn't canceled all of his shows. It's just some.
Right.
But still, though, I don't think that's an excuse, because, like we were saying, some of them were in Milwaukee, some of them were in Australia, and not everybody can make it to every possible show. If you're local to Milwaukee and you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you're a huge Monxx fan, which is definitely a possibility, you don't that ticket could be a big deal to you. And missing a show might not be a big deal to Monxx, but it could be a huge deal to your fans. And if you're letting your fans down, I feel like that is just you can't let your fans down, because your fans are part of the reason that you're big.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the fans, and quite possibly, if you when you make a song and you try to send it to like a big record label or a huge, say for instance, Disciple or Nerve Say Die or Monster Cat or whatever, and they accept it, I mean, that could possibly be your opening. And plus, if you have a huge following, I mean, you're definitely going to lose a lot of that.
Right.
So,
yeah. If for whatever reason Monxx listen to this, I mean, I would say, you've got tons of fans, you've got some cool sounding music. Just don't let your fans down.
Yeah.
EDM fans don't want DJs to fail. It becomes a meme when you make it a meme and block everybody and continually, make mistakes like this. But, we don't want you to fail. There's a lot of people that like Monxx music. That it's like I don't know what else really to classify. It's like wonky rhythm, pretty much, is the best way to classify it, I would say. Okay. But I mean, a lot of that's kind of a surging bass music genre. So,
right.
So yeah, that's what I would say to Monxx. But anyways, anything else on that?
No, I mean, yeah, just what you said, and I mean those are my thoughts on the situation.
Just what I said, and that and that it's okay to skip out on hanging out with your friends?
Yes, most definitely. Yes. Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to let that down, right?
Well, hopefully you will.
Okay. All right. I think you have the next topic, sir.
Okay, so one of my really good friends, he's been to one rave with me, and we've always had this conversation. What would you rather listen to bass music? Would you rather listen to it at a festival, or would you rather listen to it like in an inside venue? So this idea of listen to bass music in an inside venue or in an outside venue. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I think there are pros and cons to both sides.
Okay.
Do you want to guide the conversation since this is technically your topic? Do you want to start with inside or do you want to start with outside?
Let's start with outside.
So outside venues, and I assume you're usually outside venues it's usually talking about a festival in particular. Sometimes you have the single venues where it's just like one big stage. That's one big pro about outside venues is that the stages can be way bigger and you can have more people.
And for example, a good touring place that's not an inside venue would be Red Rocks. So.
Oh, that's a good example. Yes. So, like we said, outside you can have bigger stages, you can have more pyrotechnics, bigger visuals, more people. I would say the music is not as loud outside because the audio, the sound waves are not confined to walls that are constantly echoing off of each other. So the music is not as loud at an outdoor festival, and for some people that might be a good thing. Like for myself, if I'm at a concert or a rave or whatever, and it is an indoor venue, I will take my earplugs. And I know that some people might consider that nerdy or whatever, but I have heard and I have read online too many stories about people that honestly have only been going to raves for maybe 5 to 10 years and already have ear damage. Now, granted, they did go to a lot of raves, but and some, especially dubstep DJs love to blast their music. And if you get in an indoor venue and that music is blasting, it is extremely loud, and your ears could be ringing for a day or two afterwards. And there's no other way to put it. That's not good for you. So I have decided at this point that any indoor venue, I'm going to wear my earplugs. If you go to a Guitar Center or a place like that, they have specially formed earplugs that have little filters on them, and you put them in, and it's like 3 or 4 layers of flaps that it's to a point where if you're in the venue, everything still sounds really good. It's just not as loud, and it's not as loud to you.
Okay.
So, if you're asking me, I kind of just took over the conversation, I think, but
No.
Well, if you're asking me, outside versus inside, I really like. I tell you what I really like about listening to music live. I love to have space to move around, and I feel like I have more space outside. Because if you think about it, you know how if you go to a festival early, let's say, and this is for anybody really, if you go to a festival early, let's say that it starts at, let's look at EDC Vegas. EDC Vegas starts at 7, right? It's I think it starts at 7 each night. Not everybody gets there right at 7. If you're one of the first people there, you get there at 7:30, and you get to one of the maybe one of the smaller stages, you have tons and tons of room to move around, dance around. That's what I like. I love being in a big crowd, but I love to have my room to actually move around and do what I want, because there's a point where when you got the main headliners, there's really not a ton of room to do stuff. And there's points where if you're in a big crowd, like like a wave will come, and then it's basically like you have to move with the wave. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I'm not a huge fan of that, and I'm not even claustrophobic. I just like knowing that I've got room, like, you know, kind of a personal space to move around and, you know, and move however I want to move. So that's definitely another pro of outside. Obviously, inside you've got the factor of not having to deal with weather, which is nice. Inside is definitely more confined. It's, like we said earlier, it's louder, and people are probably going to be more squished together, which, again, some people like that. Yeah, I think for me, I love big stages as well. So I think I would have to pick outside.
Okay. Yeah, kind of going along with basically what you said. Honestly, in my opinion, I think it's hard to choose. So, going off of the factors that you've listed so far, you know, with the outside venue being, you know, more room, it's got a bigger stage, which can give, you know, better visuals and all that, and better effects and lighting. And with the inside venue, you know, it's louder, it's confined. You can actually, well, I mean, in both settings, I guess, when they turn up the volume, I guess in both settings you can feel the bass. But I want to say that you can feel the bass more in an inside than you can in an outside.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Which I absolutely love. When I can feel the bass like that, that makes my heart go, like, it explodes. Like, that's what I absolutely love.
Wow, that doesn't sound healthy.
But
so you love having a heart explosion
of bass, yes. But again, I don't know if I can pick which one I like. I think, you know, starting when I went to EDC Orlando for the first time, I wanted to say that outside venues was my first implication. But then you fast forward to when we went to go see Excision, and that just knocked my socks off.
Yeah, but we have talked about the Excision show a bunch, and that show is honestly on a whole nother level. I guess it's pretty much an outlier because that show is so perfect. The visuals, everything is so perfect and is exactly what a dubstep concert should be. So I feel like the Paradox is kind of an outlier because it's so good. Because I think you and I would both agree that the indoor Excision show is better than any outdoor show we've ever seen.
Yes. Okay. Now let's kind of get in. I kind of want to alter this a little bit. So forget the Paradox, forget the visuals, just the music. Okay, just the music alone. Would it be better to listen to his set? I know. Okay, pretend you're blind. Okay, you can't see any of the visuals. All you can do is you can just hear the music. Would you rather listen to his music or his set in an inside venue or in an outside venue?
Excisions in particular?
Yeah, like his set. Because we have heard his set inside and outside.
And I'm blind?
Yes, you're blind. You can't see his visuals. All you can hear is just the music.
I guess I'd have to say indoors because, like you said, it's more. There's more vibrations with the bass and all that stuff.
Okay.
Of course, like outdoor. Well, like you get pyrotechnics, you get fireworks. I don't know if that really plays into it too much. You can't really do that indoors. But of course, that's all that really is just a loud pop, and if a person's blind, it might scare them.
that sounds.
What was that? What was that?
Okay.
That's not in the song.
So basically, what we're saying is, if you're blind, go see EDM inside.
I guess so. Is that the conclusion?
I guess that's the conclusion of that.
I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, I think it's worth noting that, I mean, both indoor and outdoor venues are both great.
Mm-hmm.
And
they had their own unique things.
Yes.
Like their unique, like perks or whatever.
Yes, definitely. I don't know. It's a tough question because I love going to indoor venues if I've got my earplugs.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to say that I use earplugs because again, there's so many stories, and even the DJs themselves, most of them wear earplugs. Now most of them are like $50-$60 earplugs. They're like specially formed for their specific ear mold or whatever. But they do it, and it's because there are so many artists, not even just EDM. Like if you go back into the 60s, 70s, 80s, the rock artists that are out there, playing loud music several times a week, a month, however often, they've got that loud music blaring right in their ears. If they're not wearing earplugs, it's going to damage their hearing. And I don't want to sound like a doctor, but it's something to think about. Because you want to listen to this music or whatever music for as long as you can. If it's the loud indoor venues, you kind of want to put on earplugs. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Now, me specifically, I haven't. I knew that you've started to do that, and I kind of have refused to do the earplug thing for right now. But again, I might have to look into it because I've been to indoor venue raves that my ears were ringing a day, like the downlink.
Yep, that was downlink in particular is the one I was thinking of, because we were still hearing ringing 2 days after, right?
I mean, I want to say that was still maybe it was like a day and a half. I want to say.
I'm pretty sure because that was a Thursday night concert, and I had work the next day. I think you were just here on vacation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I had work the next day. I remember my ears ringing the entire day at work and into that night. So I guess it would have been a little over a day. I guess I don't remember the day after. It might not have been ringing the day after. But still, though, I mean, it's kind of, I guess it's cool or whatever to some people to be honest. Oh yeah, my ears are still ringing. Yeah. I guess that's cool, but honestly, like, it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
But yeah. I mean, but you want to listen to it without the earplugs. Like, you want to listen to it without earplugs and just like go hard or whatever. But then you don't want to damage your ears, so you like.
Okay. Do you? Yes, you're right. You're right. Do you remember during that Downlink concert? Whenever he had the music so loud, and then whenever he put up the microphone, you had to cover your ears because it was so loud. Like, not covering up just, for the fun of it. Like, I remember having to cover up my ears because it was that loud. Like, it was legitimately hurting my ears.
Yeah.
Maybe I sound like a wuss saying this. I don't care. I'm still going to wear my earplugs to the indoor venues.
I don't specifically remember whenever he talked into the microphone, it being even louder, but I just knew that was so loud. That's all I remember is that. I mean, it was a great set, but it was just really, really. It's probably the loudest.
It was a great
I've
set.
ever been to.
It was a great set, but I know for a fact, I've talked about this, and we both agree that was the loudest set we've ever heard. Even louder than Excision's set. Of course, Downlink is always going to blast his music, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, I don't know if I could choose which is better.
Yeah, I guess you have to choose, don't you? I'm gonna say outside, but it is such a small margin because I do love the indoor venues. I love I like feeling like it's a smaller crowd. Like, I'm not saying I'm intimidated by the large crowds, and again, there is more room on the outdoor venues, but I do like. I feel like I would favor a 400-person crowd rather than a 4,000-person crowd.
Yeah, I'm in that boat too. I like a smaller crowd, have room to move about and dance and all that, instead of just being squished together. But you have those people that like to be at the very front, be squished, and just get an up close look and go hard or whatever. But I mean, you'll agree with this, but you and I, we usually try to like stay in the back because of the room, and we get to see like the whole stage in and of itself. And I mean, that experience right there is, I think it's the best experience.
Yeah, I mean, we always try to, if we're going to a rave together, we always try to get in the center, in the back, like in front of where the sound booth usually is. So if you think about a normal auditorium or a normal venue, you've got the stage, you've got the standing area, like the general audience, whatever it's called, the general standing area, and then, it depends on the size of the venue, but a little bit behind that, you've got the sound booth. And I think and if you think about it, usually everything is centered toward the sound booth. Like everything's kind of technically aimed towards the sound booth, right?
Yes, I think so.
Like to an extent, I think it is. And so and I'll tell you what, an advantage that Alex and I have is that we're tall, because we go to these concerts, and there's like girls and even some guys that are like maybe 4.5, well, not 4.5 feet, but like
that's really small.
Maybe not that,
like having to be like a little baby, like a baby.
It's like little toddlers running around these places. No, okay, not that short, but like maybe 5 foot. Like there are some short people out there. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying there are some short people out there, and in particular, there's some short girls, and I can look, like not look down, like because I'm so tall over them, but you can kind of see around the crowd like shorter girls, and it's like there's guys that are like a foot taller than you. How are you even seeing anything? So I think it's a great advantage that we have, that we're both at least decently tall. We don't have to deal with that, because I just feel like that would ruin half the experience if I couldn't even see anything.
I mean,
I guess that's why you got to get a boyfriend and get on his shoulders.
Well, luckily, yeah, I guess. But I mean, I would like to go to a rave not only just to listen to the music, but to also see the visuals. I mean, some people probably go just to listen to the music or whatever, and just want to feel really good or whatever. But like, I go to listen to the music and to see the crazy visuals that they have, like the DJ and their team, that they've come up with.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I would agree.
That's what I mainly go for.
I mean, I go for that also, but I like to meet the people around
and
kind of interact with people. I mean, that's where like one of the people that I was standing next to at a show earlier this year, I was talking to him about because he noticed my earplugs and he was asking me about them, and I said, I've heard too many stories, and he was like, a buddy of mine can almost not hear out of one of his ears because he went to so many concerts, and a majority of them were indoors where the music is louder and the music is confined and the audio waves are constantly bouncing off the walls, and it's technically louder. You do get the vibrations, but those indoor venues, the music is louder.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you an idea I've always had for a music festival is, what if you did a music festival, like where they have like E3 and the big convention, like the car conventions, like Detroit has the North American Auto Show, whatever it's called. There's one in like Los Angeles, New York. All the big cities have them. The big convention centers.
Yeah.
Why do they not do EDM Why don't they do an EDM festival in one of those, or do they?
Actually, I'm not sure. I don't think they do, to my knowledge, but my guess would be because of space. They would have a limited amount of space. Like, think about it. If you put granted, I don't know how big of a stage you could put, but how could you? If you wanted to do multiple stages, like how many stages are you wanting?
Like maybe just start out just like like 15.
Oh,
Just a small little thing. No, I mean
Okay,
realistically,
15 stages.
realistically, so the convention centers are set up where you have, like 2 or 3 large showrooms, right? You know how
Okay.
like we went to remember when we went to the Central Florida International Auto Show here in Orlando?
Yes.
So like you know how they have like the big rooms that have all the cars in them, right?
Right.
So like you could do like a stage or two in those big rooms. Like they wouldn't be as big as the giant outdoor stages at the really big festivals, but you could still do a few of those, and it would be all indoors. You wouldn't have to worry about weather. Again, it would be loud, but I don't know. It's just something that I've kind of thought about, like I guess like an idea.
Yeah, okay. Again, you're right with, it being louder. I think with because there are kind of big venues that are indoors and, they have a pretty good size to to where the GA audience or the general admissions area is. But if you have it like in a big, huge, like, room like that, I just feel like the sound quality would be not as good as it would be compared to maybe in a smaller venue or outside.
Well, I don't understand why you say that because it's still going to be it's going to be loud as it is in the small venues. Like in the small venues, it's still really really loud.
Right, but like, I don't know how you're going to explain this.
Like you think it would be more distorted in a large room?
Possibly. I don't know, but like, I mean, because I know there are pretty big, indoor venues out there that I mean I haven't been to, but I don't know. I just feel like the sound quality wouldn't be as good as it would be if you put it outside or if you put it in a smaller venue. You know what I'm saying?
I guess so. I don't know.
Maybe it would feel a little like maybe not like a huge significance, but like a smaller amount of like distortion. Just maybe like slightly distorted in like a huge room compared to like a normal size venue or a smaller size venue.
Right. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I don't know if I agree with it though. I don't know if the size would make it more or less distorted, to be honest. I mean, when we go to the small venues, it's definitely, like, if it's loud enough, it definitely sounds distorted. But even if they did do a festival in a conference center like that, they're still going to pump up the volume big time. So it's still going to be extremely loud and could still be distorted like that. So I don't know. I guess I see what you're saying, but I don't know if I 100% agree. There might, and again, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, so there might already be a festival that's like that where it's in a convention center. I just always thought that'd be kind of a cool idea because, like, you have huge convention centers out there. Like, you have them where they've got like the giant rooms, but then they've got like 4 or 5 of those. And I mean, some of them are big enough. You could put like some kind of like curtain or like a huge like type of blocker that separates 2 stages in there. And that could be kind of a cool little intimate festival. I don't know. It's just an idea I've had. Kind of joining, like, it'd be like an indoor EDM festival because usually most of them are outdoors, and luckily we've never been really impacted by weather at EDC Orlando. That's like the big festival that we always go to, but again we haven't, like, sometimes they do have thunderstorms and weather, and so I don't know, just a thought.
Right.
So inside or outside for you?
To be honest with you, I think I might have to go with outside because of I think you can get I know, so like my friend, he would rather prefer inside venues because it's louder, because the music is louder. That's why, and I'm guessing that he really likes to have the music loud. But for me, the overall experience of the visuals, the stage, the volume of the music. Yes, it is louder inside, but I think you get a better equalization of each of those factors when going to like a festival or an outside venue.
Right. Yeah, I could agree with that.
So that's why I think I slightly favor an outside venue over an inside venue. It's very close to me, like in my opinion. Like it's hard to choose, but if I actually had to pick, I think I would choose an outside venue.
I think I 100% agree with that. It's very close for me as well. But if I have to choose, I'd probably pick an outside, just because it seems like there's more potential for an outdoor venue. It's going to be bigger, more pyrotechnics, more of the cool stuff, more people as well. More space possibly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little bit more outside. So yeah. I think that's a pretty good recap of that. So those are really the only two topics we had planned for today. I do kind of want to go over the future, because I want to say that the last episode we had talked about doing an interview with a non-EDM fan, just kind of asking him about music. That will happen at some point. It's just not happened yet. And part of that is probably my fault, because it's been a very busy week at work, and work has been very consuming, and I just haven't really had a chance to set up a whole big schedule with all of us and all that stuff. So hopefully we'll get onto that soon. And like I said, I want to interview whoever. If there's like smaller DJs that want us to interview them and promote them, I mean, I am 100% down for that. There's a couple of local EDM DJs that I would like to get with, but again, it's all about matching up schedules, because everybody's, all the smaller artists are generally working as well, like a side job, along with making music and doing DJing.
Mm-hmm.
So, that being said, it is currently, this will be released Sunday, October 14th. After that, I've got about 5 or 6 shows that I'm looking at going to, and you're included on a few of them. And again, this is the problem, because it's kind of more local. It's all Orlando stuff, all concerts in the Orlando area. But I kind of want to maybe try to get your take on some of these. I already bought my tickets for a show on October 19th that has Peekaboo, Brightside, and Victory. Have you heard of Peekaboo?
Yeah, I think you've mentioned Peekaboo to me.
Peekaboo's got a good collab with G-Rex, who I know we both like, and we both want to see live.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brightside and Victory, I don't really know much about them. They might be more local, or they might just be smaller names than Peekaboo. But that will be October 19th. And then October 31st, another show I'm excited about, Quicks and Dirty Audio.
Yeah, okay, yes, I did see that Quicks was coming to Orlando, and I really do want to see Quicks.
I'm excited, because Quicks, usually every song that he makes, I like. Usually, there's certain artists that if I'm browsing and looking through new music, if I see this artist, like a certain artist's name, I'll just almost automatically like it. And Quicks is one of those DJs.
Mm-hmm.
So very excited for that. I haven't got my tickets to that yet, but I probably will. One of my good friends here in Orlando has expressed interest in going to this one with me. San Holo, Bank, Tasca Black, and the Nicholas.
Okay.
The two main ones.
San Holo is another one I just need to see.
Yeah, I don't think San Holo's ever been to EDC Orlando. And again, that's
he's not.
Yeah. And I know he's not going this year. But San Holo is another one of those feature-based artists that's kind of a must-see, at least I've heard. Tasca Black is the other one on that list that I'm definitely excited about, because I've got several Tasca Black songs on my saved list, and they're all catchy as well. That is November 1st. And again, as we go through the year and continue on, and we go to these events, I want us to come back to the next episode and give like a full recap of who we saw, how it was, what was the venue like, how's the music, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times these are people that, these are DJs that a lot of, maybe some of our listeners have potentially listened to and have heard and seen live. And it's kind of like a recap, or it could be that these are DJs that some of our listeners are curious about seeing. And, a recap of what we saw could, potentially help them decide if they should buy tickets or should not.
Right.
So that is November 1st. And then November 9th and 10th is the big one. That's EDC Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to kind of get into the EDC Orlando set list?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I've got it pulled up on my computer. I don't know if you do or not. But some of the ones that we are definitely going to see because we have not seen yet, I'm just going to list them off. So we got Bad Clat, Boogie T, B2B Squanto. We've got Dylan Francis and Friends. No idea what that means.
He's done that, though, before. I'm pretty sure he's done that at Las Vegas.
Who does that include?
Oh, maybe upcoming collabs? I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe past collabs? I don't know.
We got Ganja White
show.
Knight. We've got Martin Garrix, who is more of a mainstream EDM guy, but I would like to at least say that I've seen him.
Mm-hmm.
Big one that will probably be at the base stage, Midnight Tyrannosaurus.
Midnight Tea. Yep.
Also Moody Good, another big bass artist. A guy that I have seen but you have not, Space Jesus.
Yes.
Who does music similar to G. Jones, EPROM, Sayer, that kind of group, that kind of genre of, I don't know if there's a word for that genre-based music yet, but there's like an unspoken rule as far as that it's like the Space Jesus, G. Jones, EPROM, Sayer, that group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to call it.
Alternative bass?
I don't know. It's like slow bass. It's like I don't know. I don't know what to call that. Acid bass, maybe? I don't know.
Okay.
And another great set. Alex, can you please stop chewing your ice? That's another good set we're looking forward to. Also, 4B, B2B, GTA, B2B, Valentino Con. Definitely an interesting B2B there. A guy that we should have seen last year that we didn't get to see, Exod. Because he was playing at that dumb little, like whatever it's called, the boombox.
The art car.
Yeah, the boombox art car.
Yeah.
And he played at like 1 o'clock on Saturday. Nobody was there. Including us, because we were probably still asleep.
Yeah.
We've also got JCO, we've got Cascade, who we both have not seen. And we could have seen him last year too, but we were stuck in the dumb line. That was like a 3-hour line just to get back in for the second day. We've got Loud Pack, we've got Mala, we've got Moxxx, we got Say My Name, Chami, Tiesto, YDG. You got lots of newer names that well, not really newer names, but lots of names that we have not seen. So that's ultimately what decided us to go this year, because we initially were not 100% set on going, I think. But then you kind of just texted me. I guess you were looking at the lineup and you were like, yeah, we got to go.
Yeah, because, okay, so I heavily like to listen to bass music specifically, whether it's, dubstep, trap, future bass, all that sort. Now, when we start to get into, the drum and bass, and house and hardstyle, I don't really like to listen to those three, in my spare time. But, again, I think seeing them live, I like to see it live. better than I would just listen to it on my own, like listening to it through my phone or whatever. So coming to see some of these, and also there's a lot of people, and yeah, there's also a lot of DJs on here that I haven't seen yet that I would like to see. So that's another main reason.
Right.
And just to branch out, just say, yeah, I've seen this person, they were really good live. Or, yeah,
Right. Let's see. So that's kind of a quick recap on EDC Orlando. That is November 9th and 10th. Then on November 16th, I've got another show that I'm going to get tickets to. Snails, Cookie Monster, Sudden Death, right? Sudden Death. That's the way cool people say it. And
I might not be seeing that here in Alabama.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately. Yeah, I might not be seeing it.
You might not.
I might not be seeing it, yeah. Unfortunately.
Does that mean that you will fortunately be seeing it here?
No.
So you might not even see it at all.
Right.
Okay, then. Well, that's on a... That's the thing. Like, the Snails, Cookie Monster, Sudden Death, and Heckler is on a Friday night at my favorite venue in Orlando, House of Blues. So, yeah, I'm going. That's my favorite night of the week to go see a concert. Favorite venue in Orlando, definitely going. And Snails. I mean, Snails had a great set last year. You see Orlando.
But keep in mind, I might not be going. So that's like a not 100%,
So you might also be going.
I don't know. Again, like my friend who I usually go with, he's going to be he might possibly be doing something that weekend that he's been planning, but again, we don't know the full details yet. So,
well, just don't cancel in 15 minutes before it starts.
Mm-hmm. Please,
yeah. So that's November 16th, and then November 24th is the last one I have on my list. Is Seven Lions, Jason Ross, and AU5. Alex, are you going to be down here for that?
Going to that one. Yes, I am. I have been wanting to see AU5 live. I've seen Seven Lions live last year at EDC, but that was in an outside venue. Now I'm wanting to see him in an inside venue. I have been waiting a long time to see AU5 live. I have been listening because you were the one who introduced me to AU5, and throughout high school. Yeah, all throughout high school.
Are you sure? I thought
yes.
You introduced me.
No. Because you showed me, I think it was like Singularity or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah. You were the one that showed me Snowblind, which is his most popular song.
Yes. Oh, Snowblind is another great song. But yeah, AU5. If you like a future bass with like a heavy hitter drop, AU5 is your man.
Yeah, that's a pretty good assessment. Because his drops do hit hard, but it's not, hard dubstep. It's more, I guess it is kind of more of a future-based sound. And I would also say, don't sleep on Jason Ross. I've been listening to some of his music, and he's got some really catchy songs as well. So I would not sleep on him.
Right.
So that is that. I think that's going to about do it for us. I have no idea how long this episode is going to be. But I'm thinking maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Do you have anything else to say, Alex?
No, I don't. I'm good.
All right, then. Everyone have a good rest of the day. We'll see you later.
I want to see you guys.
See you get see you get louder. Louder, louder, louder.